256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Corralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Corralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. The 2025 All-SEC teams announced yesterday. Alabama lands 2 on the first team and 2 on the second teams, along with 1 on the third. Trey Hubbard and Caden Proctor both land on the first team. Auburn linebacker Xavier Atkins earns first-team honors, while Keldrick Falk, Kieron Crawford, and Jeremiah Cobb land on the third team. Tuesday night SEC basketball, number 5 UConn holds off number 18 ranked Florida 77-73, and Kentucky gets by North Carolina Central 103-67. 97.7 ESPN The Zone invites you to join us Tuesday, December 16th from 5 p.m. to 7:30 for our Talent Heating and Air Listener Appreciation Holiday Toy Drive Party with help from North Alabama Mortgage at Field Day Huntsville. Just bring an unwrapped toy or two. We'll have free food, free miniature golf, and more. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
Can you get me a little typeset?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I abuse you.
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, but nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it Humpday.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's Humpday.
Oh, yeah, baby. It is Hump Day in the doghouse. Man, we got a lot to get into in the world of sports today. Plenty of ground to cover for you here in this midweek show. It is our 2-hour exercise in radio excellence that we try to bring you each and every day. And if you know where you want to go, you might want to jump on the lines right now. You want to go ahead and get in? Go ahead and get in. I don't care if you're listening over the air in Huntsville or Winchester or Nashville or Murfreesboro, or if you're listening outside the Tennessee Valley on an app or online, it doesn't matter. Phone number is the same for everybody, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. We are officially, by the way, on Phillip Watch. We are, okay? You know, because Phillip, you know how you guys that have listened to the show for a while know that Phillip kind of drifts in and out of the show at various times. Well, he's very upset with me right now. He's very upset with me, and he says the last transmission that I've had from my friend Phillip is have a nice life. Okay, I'm never listening to this radio station again. I don't know. Yeah, he's talking about 97.7 ESPN The Zone in Huntsville. I don't know if he's listening to WNSR. I don't know if he's listening to WCDT. I don't know what he's listening to or who he's listening to. He might be listening to the Blitz or probably not the Morning Drive or the Talking Ball, maybe Afternoon Drive. I don't know. Depends on what market, you're in. I don't know what he's listening to. But we are on Phillip Watch. We may never hear from him again. And I guess it's my fault. So, in any event, we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case. I'd love for him to remain a part of the show for sure. You can hit the text window anytime you want. 7329 TA Show. That is 732-982-7469. That will get you in. And finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV, although I understand just right now my camera apparently froze. I hate when that happens. Because then you got to reload. And then because we use this cockamamie system that I don't like, I've got to every time I got to add a different background. It doesn't let me just put the background in. I got to go find a picture I want to. Here, let me just pick one of these. Hang on a second, people. I'll be with you in a minute. Let me see. What do I got over here? And this one over there. And just pick one of these here. I'll go with this one here. Let's see how that works. I know what one I want to use for later on in the show. I can guarantee you that. I know exactly what I want to use for later on in the show. But we'll see how that all works. All right. All right, Grasshopper. I'm back in there, supposedly. See how that all works out. You can get it at my X feed, which is at Thom Abraham Show. All right, which I may have to refresh to get that up there for you, but you can get it there at the X feed as well. Now, coming up on the show at the bottom of the hour, Teresa Walker of the AP Sports Bureau in Tennessee will join us. Her thoughts on the Titans and if they are going to do anything to screw up their draft position further now that they have moved to the number 2 spot behind the Raiders after beating the Browns last Sunday. Field Yates has rolled out his first mock draft of the offseason. Even though we got 3 weeks to go in the regular season, he has the Titans actually sliding to 3 and taking Ohio State edge rusher Arvell Reese, who looks like a sure thing. They need an edge rusher, there's no doubt. Put that guy right there next to Jeffrey Simmons. Reese looks like a sure thing. Some people think he's the best prospect in the draft. Now, all of that is assuming that you like Cam Ward. And to be honest, the best strategy may be to load up on the other spots. Get yourself short up in the other positions. Get a receiver. Get an edge rusher or 3. Get yourself loaded up and see what Cam Ward looks like with the new staff next season in the last season at Old Nissan Stadium. And then if he still sucks after the second year, well, you're going to be drafting high again. Then you grab a quarterback in next year's class to go into the new stadium with, because next year's class could be pretty good. I mean, Arch Manning is expected to return to Texas. And if he returns to the Longhorns and continues his development, he may be what they thought he was going to be this year when he was the Heisman Trophy favorite. Maybe he'll be that by the end of the year next year. And I got news for you. There's more and more people out there that think that Ty Simpson is not coming out this year, which is going to lead to a very interesting QB competition in Tuscaloosa. More on him in a moment. At the top of the second hour, David Moulton of Miller and Moulton in the Morning will join us after his on-camera moment as Sully Monday night in L.A. We have seen this before. Usually it's Halloween, but they were doing some goofy Monsters, Inc. Is that what it is, Sully? Monsters, Inc.? Some Monsters, Inc. deal with the broadcast. And so Moulton, and what did he do? Did he rent that in L.A.? Did he bring his Sully contest costume with him? Did he actually pack his costume with him to go out there? Oh, we're going to find out. I mean, there's like 20 million people had to see that. And I cannot unsee it now. Can't unsee it. So we'll get David in here. So they are about to give Fernando Mendoza the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night, making him the first quarterback Heisman Trophy winner since Cam Newton not to throw for 3,000 yards. Now, Cam threw for 2,854 yards and 30 touchdowns when he won the Heisman back in 2010. Mendoza has 2,980 yards and 33 touchdowns passing. But Cam Newton also had almost 1,500 yards rushing, and he ran for 20 more touchdowns. Cam Newton, remember that was the 50 touchdown season, which was done previously by Tim Tebow. Look, The rest of all the quarterbacks that have less than 3,000 yards passing and won the Heisman Trophy all happened like before 1971 when Pat Sullivan won it. And before. And that was back when they played 11 games or even less. Sometimes they played 10 or 11 games back then. Mendoza's numbers come over 13 games since the Big Ten championship game is included in that 2,980 yards that he threw for. Look, this is rarely for the best player in college football. Now, I think last year it was. Travis Hunter was the Heisman winner. I think he was the best player in college football. But if he was only a defensive player, he doesn't win the Heisman Trophy. He wins a Heisman Trophy because he was a two-way player, because he played both ways, like Charles Woodson, who did it for Michigan. And people say, well, Charles Woodson won as a defensive player. Let me tell you something. If Charles Woodson isn't running a half a dozen plays as a wide receiver and catching balls downfield and isn't a punt returner and returning more than one punt for a touchdown and posing, striking a pose against Ohio State when he, brings a couple. Woodson's not winning it there is no straight defensive player that wins it. A straight nothing but a defensive player that wins it. I'm talking about guys like defensive end Reuben Bain out of Miami. Might be the best player in college football. Jacob Rodriguez, that linebacker from Texas Tech, sideline to sideline, heat-seeking missile, might be the best player in college football. Or how about Caleb Downs? Right? At Ohio State, courtesy of Alabama. He might be the best player in the game. But no one's even inviting those guys to New York. They don't even get to go to New York. No, let's take these other guys. And I get it that Julian Just Saying is in New York as a redshirt freshman. That means he's, got an excellent chance down the road to maybe win a Heisman Trophy. And Julian Saying's been unbelievable. He's got, his completion percentage is like 75%. But let me tell you something. I'm going to say it right now. Julian Saying's like the third or fourth best player on his own team. If they had an Ohio State Heisman Trophy, he comes in behind Caleb Downs. He comes in behind Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver. He comes in behind the defensive lineman, Caden Curry. Those are all better players than Julian Saying. Saying's a really nice player. They got a lot of good players. That's why they got an excellent. They're still a favorite to win the national championship, even though they lost to Indiana in the Big Ten championship. By the way, ESPN's college football panel of reporters, writers, college football analysts, things like that, they got together on October 17th, right in the middle of the season. October 17th, and they ranked the top 25 players at the midpoint of the college football season on October 17th, less than 2 months ago. Julian Saying was not on the list. Halfway through the college football season, he wasn't considered by that panel a top 25 player in college football. Jeremiah Smith was on the list. Caleb Downs was on the list. Curry was on the list. Julian Saying wasn't on the list. He wasn't on that list. In fact, Ty Simpson was third on that list. Remember the first half of the season he had, but we kept starting looking around at each other and saying, this kid's the best quarterback in the country. Man, did things change down the stretch. Holy mackerels. All right, let me give you a little reminder that a week from yesterday, right? A week from yesterday. Is that right? It's already coming that fast. WZZN in Huntsville, 97.7 ESPN The Zone there. In Huntsville, the annual Talent Heating and Air Toy Drive Christmas Party at Field Day, presented by North Alabama Mortgage, will be taking place. Bring an unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots, and you get fed at the taco bar and a free round of mini golf, and you get a raffle ticket for some item. And we got a bunch of items. Grasshopper's in charge of the items, and he's come up with all kinds of stuff. So everyone who shows up with a toy or a donation gets a raffle ticket as well. It's a family-friendly event. Bring the entire family. I got to go on our site and see what mini bowling is. I still don't know what when you say mini bowling to me, I think skee ball. Are you thinking, is it like candlelight bowling? Candlestick bowl. What was it called? Candlestick bowling. Those of you that are Northerners know what I'm talking about. They were little skinny pins. Well, back in mission control, playing the platters of matter, the stacks of wax, answering the phones. He's the prodigy, the grasshopper. Baby Abe.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
I mean, it's mini bowling.
I don't know why that's doing that, John. I don't know why it's freezing up like that, but I do know this. So yesterday, so I'm sitting down. Your mother makes me this beautiful panini. You know what a panini is?
Yeah, I know what a
pressed
panini is. Yeah.
A pressed sandwich, right?
Yeah.
She makes me this beautiful pressed turkey Swiss sandwich, which is on a sub roll. My mouth just started watering because I didn't eat lunch yet. She had it on like a 6 or an 8 inch sub roll. Presses it. It's hot. It's beautiful. It's on my plate. And I'm sitting down to the counter to eat my dinner last night, 6 o'clock, right?
Okay.
Dog starts going nuts. Somebody's at the front door. She goes to the front door. She's talking to somebody. I don't know who's coming in the front door 6 o'clock. It's dinner time. I thought it was somebody we knew or whatever. It's like a revolving door with family and everything else, but they usually come to the back door. So next thing you know, this woman walks in the house behind my wife.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's got like a construction vest on. And she's all bundled up like the Nook of the North.
Okay.
I mean, it's freezing out there, right?
This is about to be like the movie Up.
I don't know what the movie Up is. But she's got an iPad in her arm like this over here. And she said, did you know that AT&T fiber is now available in your neighborhood? And I look at my wife like, you just let this woman in here at dinner time over here with the AT&T fiber? Because I'm all Xfinity up, right? I got the Xfinity to the studio. I got the Xfinity to the house. I don't know what I do. YouTube TV, which I don't know. It uses the Xfinity internet, I guess. And then I got the Xfinity to the guest house out back. And I got the interwebs out there to that. And there's like an Xfinity box or something out there that's like a Chromecast type. I don't understand all this technology, but I also have Xfinity phones, which they use the Verizon phone system, and they're outstanding. $35 a month.
Yeah, it's a good deal. Yeah.
It's a great deal.
But maybe you should hear them out, all right?
Well,
because of the way that your stream likes to freeze on us.
Well, here's the thing. I said, what's the speed? She says,
a billion.
No. What is it? What is it when it's like 100 gig or no, not 100, 1,000 gig is a terabyte or something like that?
Yeah.
1 terabyte. I said, all right. I said, I get 1.4 terabyte out of Xfinity right now. She goes, well, it's not really fiber. It's like copper wrapped around fiber. And she starts to explain to me how every device that you have on it, and sometimes, who knows, between tablets and phones and TVs and everything else, there might be 15 different devices.
There's an app for that.
Oh, is there?
You can see which devices are on your Wi-Fi.
So we got 1 million devices on our Wi-Fi. And she says that every device that you have on splits the signal, which is why when I go to the speed test on my desktop machine or my laptop machine, I never get more than 600, 500 meg. You know what I mean? I'm not getting no terabyte. Never seeing 1 point, you know, huh?
Yeah, it's not terrible.
No, that's not bad at all. I mean, let's be real here. That's not bad at all. But having said that, it's dinner time. I want to eat my panini. So I look over to her. I said, listen, you got some information you can leave me with? Oh, it's all right here on the tablet. I can show. I said, I want to eat this sandwich while it's warm. I said that very nicely, but I said, I wanted like to eat my warm dinner here. And she's like, okay, well, let me just tell you that. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I said, here, how about email me something? I said, just email me some information. I give her my email address. Right? Can I leave you? Can I get your phone number and I'll call you and we'll set up a meeting for about time? I said, I want to eat my sandwich. I want to eat my warm sandwich. Finally, she leaves. I have not gotten an email or anything. So I don't. So maybe I need to look into it. I don't know. This is AT&T phone service anywhere near as good as Verizon phone service, which is what Xfinity uses. Can I still keep the Xfinity phone service if I have AT&T fiber in the house? These are questions I don't know the answer to. And to be honest with you, it's a pain in the butt to try and figure out.
Well, if you listened to her while you were trying to eat your panini, you might have known.
No, I did. I'm not going to eat in front of the woman. And I'll tell you right now, she ain't missing any meals. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to, I'm not going to eat in front of the woman.
Makes two.
So I was like, just, ma'am, who goes door to door at the dinner time? My wife felt bad for her because she looks cold. She wanted her to come in and warm up.
It's a good woman.
So let her go warm up. There's 7 fireplaces. Have her pick one. There's not one in the kitchen. Let her go stand by one of the 7 fireplaces. Crazy. Anyway, did Philip call your show this morning?
He did not.
I hate that he is completely. He's very upset with me. He's upset with me, and I'm just going to say he's upset with me. If anybody wants to know why he's upset with me, you can hit me in the text window, and I'll tell you. All right, let me get the AC in here. And by the way, I heard that AC called your show yesterday, and you kept them on the air for like 20 minutes. Is that right? We don't do no 20-minute. No 20-minute phone call.
About that.
You get a phone call from AC or anybody else, they get like 2 or 3 minutes, and that's it. AC,
I don't know about that.
AC, you get 2 or 3 minutes. Make your case and get out of here.
Here's the thing, TA. I did not call his show, whatever, Joe Hunk. They're good people. They don't get their blood pressure up, unlike you. What did you do with Mrs. Abraham? What did you do? You had like soap opera? It sounds like a soap opera. What is going on with you? I could have had my dinner. I could have had this. Who cares, TA? Reality is, ladies are there to give you headaches. Do you know how many headaches I have? I put restriction on them. They better be careful, or else I'll pull the string. I'm daddy who's paying for everything. You don't tell me what to do.
Well, she wasn't telling me what to do. She just let the lady in the house to talk to her husband.
I know. I want to get your reaction. I know what happened, all right? Forget your dinner, all right? That was, 24 hours ago? Let's talk about football here. I don't care who quit the show. Who cares? No, nobody cares. We have some problem here between Big 12 and Notre Dame. First of all, Big 12, let's face it. When was the last time you were relevant? I mean, since Texas and Oklahoma left, people are forgotten. Like, they don't know who you are right now. So
yeah. And by the way, if you're Texas, you're in the playoff if you stayed in the Big 12. Texas, the only reason Texas is not in the Big 12 is they went to the SEC. But anyway, go ahead.
That's because they want to be relevant. Oklahoma, they jumped ship. This is something probably nobody told you. This is the way how I came up with this conclusion. Why would Texas and Oklahoma jump at the same time? I'm pretty sure 2 ADs between Oklahoma and Texas, they discussed, we should jump so we can get the rivalry going. So Texas said, you know what? Money is coming to our wallet. Great. Because 2 arch rival making decisions at the same time is very odd. But we would never know. But hypothetically, I would say 90% correct, but they're not going to reveal it. But let's go back to the Irish. You guys are so arrogant. You have basketball, baseball. They have their conference. I don't want to start naming. They have their conference. Football team, you got to find a conference. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Did you remember that in COVID, it was ACC who was begging Notre Dame to get into the ACC conference so they could have legit 7 or 8 games? Do you remember that? Back in 2020?
Yeah. They ACC has asked them 3 times. The ACC has asked them to join the conference 3 times
because they were begging. And then guess what happened? Clemson played the Irish November-October game. It happens to be NBC. So ACC said, you know what, this is what we're going to do. Our conference title is going to be an ABC. Irish, they agreed, and they got smacked by Clemson. But regardless, whatever the results are, the Irish, they took billions of dollars from NBC. They took it from ABC because, let's face it, man, look, Irish get into a conference, chances are you're not going to. And every season, people should leave you up, then you're going to learn your lesson. Get into a conference. You belong in ACC, get there, or just call it a day. Nobody cares. You had an opportunity to participate in a ball game. You went 10-2. You did all the hard work, but we're not gonna participate. Well, guess what? Probably they should ban you next 10 years, just like that idiot Philip. Thank you.
They would have played BYU. We'd love to see that game, and they've played before. I mean, I would love to see the Catholics and the Mormons get together again. I think Notre Dame holds an 8-2 record against them, something like that. All right, got lots to get to on the radio show today, and hopefully my camera will stop freezing up for those of you that are watching. Otherwise, though, you're still getting the audio that way as well. We'll get a break in here. We'll come back. Teresa Walker is next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month, up to $15 at participating locations. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Newmarket and Hampton Cove, and our new location, now open in Hartselle at 200 Main Street West, downtown.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Does it really matter which dealership you buy from? Short answer, yes it does. Hello, I'm Don Wessels for Woody Anderson Ford. Before you buy, take just a minute to check out the dealership itself, because where you buy can make all the difference. Sure, customer reviews tell you what others think, and that's good. But when Ford Motor Company itself recognizes a dealer, that's something special. Woody Anderson Ford has earned Ford's Triple Crown Award, an honor achieved by only the top 1% of Ford dealers in America. It's based on superior customer satisfaction, sales excellence, and exceptional service performance. In other words, the best of the best. So when you're ready for your next car, truck, or SUV, come see how we earned our Triple Crown status. Superior service, sales excellence, over-the-top delivery. That's Woody Anderson Ford. And we hope to see you soon.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. And with our Workhorse special promotion, that new 255 CTL is just $73,655. But it's only good through December 31st. Prices increase in January, so lock in your savings now and take advantage of year-end tax benefits to maximize your investment. Don't wait. The best time to buy that new Cat 255 is today. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by my friends at All About Water LLC. Well, you can learn more about them at allaboutwaterllc.com. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but look, they do everything that has anything to do with water, whether it's building a pond or refreshing your pond or a water feature on your property or drainage on your property. Whatever it is involving water, they do it. That includes irrigation, maintenance of your irrigation, installation of irrigation. All About Water LLC.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
You just make an executive decision. You know what? Just roll with it. Roll with it the rest of the time.
Santa Claus is
You want to roll with Christmas music the rest of the way? Go ahead and do it.
It's time.
All right. Can I then do my feature one a day? Can I do like just one a day and I'll feature one of my favorites?
Of course. It's your show.
I know.
Well, partially AC's too, but.
Well, yeah. But yeah.
You got to run it by him first, yeah.
I got to do whatever AC tells me to do, I guess. All right. It's a great time to get with Teresa Walker. Titans won a football game last week and did it with an outstanding running game. And she joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. T-Dub, welcome back. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. What's more stunning, the Titans winning that game in the fashion they won it? I mean, with Cam Ward not having a great game or anything like that, but the running game was so outstanding, or the Nashville Predators walking in to Denver last night with the worst record in the NHL, playing the team with the best record in the NHL and winning the game. I mean, how crazy was that?
Well, the game was in Nashville, so that definitely didn't hurt.
Oh, I thought it was up there because I saw the time. It was like late. I thought it was over there.
I know. It was at 8:30 Central Time, which is, my God. And somebody asked yesterday, why so late? TV. So it was on TNT last night. But
that's right.
And right now they've got Steven Stamkos on the top line, and he seems to be finding his mojo that he has not had in a Nashville Predators uniform. And UC Saros is UC Saros, and they knocked the Colorado goalie Scott Wedgwood out in the shootout because he was pulled for concussion protocol check, and they managed to pull one out with the Ryan O'Reilly goal. So. I think the phrase, Tom, is a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again. And I think that works for the Predators win over the best team in all of hockey and for the Titans finding a way. But here's the thing with the Titans, Tom. Before they were, kind of routed by the Jaguars, they had 3 straight games against 3 straight playoff berth teams, winning record teams, teams that they played within a touchdown each. So I think it's a matter of they were fighting in their weight class, and they were up. They had they scored on their opening drive. They had a big lead in the first, their biggest lead in the first quarter. They had a fourth quarter lead, 31-17, which they hadn't had all season. And being the Titans and the way they are this year, they certainly left that game with things that they nearly let that game get away. If Cleveland could, maybe don't chase points early. I mean, why go for the second point conversion, which didn't work? And then the second one, I still don't know what they were trying to accomplish on that one. So, just kick the extra point and you've got a chance to think about overtime. But another game on the road where the other team doesn't make the right decisions late and the Titans take advantage.
Yeah, in all honesty, that I didn't understand what the Browns were trying to do, because you kick those 2 extra points. Because remember, second half of the fourth quarter, they got all the momentum. They're going up and down the field. They're stoning them defensively. I'm thinking, kick the 2 extra points. You have all the momentum. They're going to win that game in overtime. If they play a fifth quarter, they're winning that football game. And it was almost like the tank job was on. And as I was watching the game with my sons, as we were sitting there watching it, and seeing all the mistakes that both teams were making early on, and some of the penalties and some of the stupid things that allowed first downs and whatnot, I said, this is really interesting to see 2 teams playing that both are now playing. It's like when you play the Raiders, that the other team is making the same mistakes that you make all season long. And so, like you say, yeah, you're in the same weight class.
Exactly. And they took advantage of that. So that's the thing. They make sure and they did what they needed to do. And,
yeah, but
they go ahead.
I was going to say, now they can't screw around and win any more games here. They're going to screw up their draft. They already slipped from the 1 to the 2, with this. Now they get the 49ers at San Francisco, the Chiefs at home, and they got the Jags at Jacksonville. Those 3, forget about it. But the Saints, when the Saints come in and they come marching in and they want a game to kind of back them up a little bit on the old draft list, that one could have a lot to do with who drafts where. And I know Field Yates is already projecting that the Titans will slide to the 3 and that they will be picking in the 3 hole. Just a couple of weeks ago, they seemed like they were on the clock already. So they just don't do too much here to screw this up for the new staff.
Well, here's the problem. Nobody in that locker room cares about next year's draft status. They're busy trying to make sure they have a job in the NFL next year. And Tom, this is a young team. 4 times this year, 3 of the last 4 games, they have started 5 rookies. They played 11 total rookies on Sunday. And that doesn't count the second-year guys like Cedric Gray, J.C. Latham. It doesn't count the third-year guys. So they are trying to literally find their way out of the wilderness and learn how to do the things to win NFL games. So, when you're balancing that, yes, seasons don't carry over, but some of these habits, you don't want all these young guys to, continually just think that this is what the NFL is.
Right.
Some of the guys were like, enjoy this. Winning in the NFL is hard. You have to learn how to finish off games. Why Cam Ward wasn't really happy after the game. He saw a 31-17 lead that they had to barely hold on to at the end for a 2-point win. So, he's looking at what they need to do better. But, if they're sacked, the thing that hurts them is, yes, if they're not sacked, and the odds I've seen is that they could be second right now. Seeing their best odds are for picking second. And, as long as there's at least 2 quarterback hungry teams, if you're picking 2, then somebody's going to want to get up to get that quarterback to help themselves. So, that, yes, you want to trade back next year and get more talent in the first round. But right now, there's an immediate problem. This team has to learn what it takes to compete and win in the NFL. And, don't worry, they still have to play 2 more teams with winning records. The Chiefs are desperate coming in here on the 22nd, and I think it's the 22nd. And then you've got, yes, the Saints. That's the battle for a higher draft position. But, the Titans have got some bigger things aside from just hiring a new coach eventually.
Well, Tony Pollard, 25 carries, 161 yards, just gashing a good defense. Obviously, Cleveland's defense has been their one bright spot this year, so that was a great job by that offensive line and by Tony Pollard. It was just explosive in there. But Cam Ward, again, 50%, 14 of 28, 117 measly yards, a couple of touchdowns through that pick in the game. And a lot of people are pining for, look, if they're in one of those top 3 spots, they got to snag a quarterback. Still, they didn't get it right, blah, blah, blah. I almost tend to think that, all right, use this high pick. You definitely need an edge rusher, and that's something that's on the list. I still think you need help at wide receiver as well. Floyd Yates has them taking Averill Reese, the edge rusher, outside linebacker for Ohio State. That would be a great pick to put in there with Jeffrey Simmons. You go another year with Cam Ward with the new staff, see what it looks like. And if he's progressing, you move into the new stadium with a young quarterback and the new parts that you picked up in this last draft and so on, and you're on the uptick. And if he crashes and burns again and you're in trouble, well, you added some other parts. and you can look at a very quarterback-rich draft the next go-round. I mean, Arch Manning's staying at Texas, so he'll be available. Ty Simpson looks like he might stay at Alabama. He may be available, and others that are out there. So, I think the strategy would be to get guys that are can't-miss guys, like this Reese kid is considered almost a can't-miss type of guy. Quarterbacks are 50-50, and give your quarterback another year and see what you got. And then if it's no good, then you go back into the draft in year 3.
Well, and let's not forget, Will Levis is still under contract for.
Oh yeah, Will Levis. Yeah,
so
right.
Let him come in and push Cam Ward and see how they both grow. But I've seen enough things out of Cam Ward to be curious and want to see what a new coaching staff can do with him and what a full off season in an NFL program can do to help him grow his game. And I mean, edge rusher, wide receiver are the 2 top needs on this team right now, followed closely by cornerback. So they've got plenty of needs. The good thing is we finally saw some signs of the areas that they tried to help Cam Ward with this year, the offensive line. I mean, the game plan they had to slow down Myles Garrett, everybody thought a week ago he might set the season record. He might get 4 against the Titans. He left with 1. Why did we think Garrett could end up with the record? Because he had 3.5 sacks last time he played the Titans, literally, when it was Ryan Tannehill.
Well, and they're aren't they last in the league in allowing sacks too to the Titans? They've given up more sacks than anybody else. So I think those 2 things led to it. And not only did they only give up 1 to Garrett, they only gave up 1 to the team, and the team was second or third in the league in sacks. So that was really good.
And what allowed them to slow down that pass rush in Garrett is the fact that they were able to push guys off the line. What's the quarterback's best protector? It's not him getting rid of the ball fast. That's part of it. But when you're running at a defense, you get them on their heels. They can't pin their ears back and start coming after your quarterback. And on that first touchdown run by Tony Pollard, Corey Levin, filling in at center for Lloyd Cushenberry, had a really nice ceiling block to free up Tony Pollard. And that's the kind of thing we just haven't seen much of at all from this team this year. And, they revamped the offensive line to help the kid. We finally saw some evidence of it this last weekend.
Yeah. To the coaching end of things, Teresa Walker with us here. We have seen coaches that walk into situations and turn them around immediately. Liam Cohen, right in the division, has done great things with this Jacksonville Jaguar team, which now looks like the team. It looks like it's back to the Jags and the Texans with the quarterback issues that are going on at the Colts. We saw this guy named Mike Vrabel. Man, if the Titans could get a guy like that, Mike Vrabel go into New England. And they're the number 1 seed, or in the AFC right now. So the search is on, obviously, for a guy like that. What do you think is going on right now? Are they talking to anybody? Are they formulating a list? I know you can't talk to people. This isn't college football. You got to wait till the season is over and so on. But are they? What do you think is going on over there in terms of the process to getting this coach?
Well, I'll say this. Mike Berganzi, the GM, told us during the bye week that they were going to start building their free agency list and start stacking that board like the draft in early December. They were the first NFL team to fire a coach this year. You have to presume that they have been going down their list, looking at the pluses, the pros, the cons, what this person brings, narrowing down their list so that when they wrap up the season in Jacksonville at the last week of the regular season, that they can giddy up and go and start interviewing at that point. And this is a team that, they have moved fast. When they hired Mike Vrabel, that was done. There were 3 interviews done, and they made a hire in a week after firing Mike Mularkey. They can move really fast when they want to. Now, where there were a lot of guys interviewed when they ended up taking Brian Callahan, and he was the first guy to interview a second time, and they just didn't let him leave town. So, that's the thing. Right now, you're getting lists done. You're looking at what he could do, trying to figure out who he might bring with him, and so that you're ready to go with your process, and we'll see how quickly they move. But, that's the thing. You look at what Liam Cohen's doing. You look at what Mike Vrabel, I know that can be a little painful over at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, but he is a guy. Drake May is looking great this year. He is a second-year quarterback who the new coaching staff is putting into perfect positions to help that team execute. So it's the NFL. This is not, oh, we've got to rebuild for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. No, you are rewarded in the NFL for your good decisions just as much as you're absolutely hammered for your bad ones. And this is a franchise that's been hammered now for 4 straight years for their bad decisions. So we've seen, this rookie class is showing that, if nothing, well, they don't have anybody else. So we'll see how good it is moving forward. But they've got some pieces to build around, and we'll see if they can make the right decisions moving forward to help, catapult this team quickly.
Talked to Scott Ramsey yesterday on the show about the Music City Bowl, the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, and the fact that they brought the Tennessee Vols in. I think it's the 4th time in the 20 some odd years that the Vols have played there. Illinois will come down for the first time ever to play in this game, and there's a lot of consternation about what the future of the bowl system is. I think there'll be some retraction at some point. Although I did post today, for all of the talk about players bailing on bowl games and now teams that are bailing on bowl games, last year, 21 of the 30 non-playoff bowl games had an increase in their TV ratings. People love football. And you just want to see football. And it's just a 13th game. We don't have to get all excited. Oh, I didn't make the playoffs. I'm not going to play in a bowl game. It's just another game. And in this case, it'll be the Vols and the Illini in Nashville. It's a celebration of the game, and you go and you have a good time with it. But when that stadium gets done and they get moved in, and now what? There'll be one more year after this year that they'll play at the old stadium. You just wonder what the future, if there was only 15 bowl games or 18 bowl games or whatever, Nashville would be in that rotation, because you got to believe that building is going to be used for the playoff at some particular point in time, whether it's semifinals or finals or national championship, whatever. All of that stuff's going to be in play there.
They're absolutely going to be bidding, and now it may be 2031 before they can get into that, into the slot. But, that's the thing. This is a very attractive thing. Tom, the thing that I'm curious to see, moving forward, we've got the portal opens, I think, January 2nd. You've just had signing day. The one thing we've seen for so long was guys opting out to protect their draft status. And recently in the last couple of years, we've seen guys dropping out because they're hitting the portal and they want to protect their portal stock. Well, if football maybe adapts to the bowl system, what we saw in Las Vegas with the hoops, the players era event that had so many teams, and they're looking to expand next year, paying the players. It's like it's pay to play, and it's never been more clear. And if guys have reasons, it's a celebration for the fan of the year you had, et cetera. But in the end, everybody wants to get paid for their work. And if they can figure that portion out, I think that might be the thing that helps strengthen the bowls that end up surviving. But we're absolutely in a period where it's like, things are changing. We'll see just how quickly.
I just wish these first 4 games, and I know people love the on-campus thing, but I wish these first 4 games were bowl games. I just wish they were bowl games. I wish it was the Gator Bowl and the Music City Bowl and the ReliaQuest Bowl and the whatever it is, the Citrus Bowl, for example. Those 4 games, I wish that's what the first round is. And if they do go to 16, and there are 8 first-round games and no buys, or, if they go to 14 and there are 7, whatever it is, I wish they would just use the bowl system and do it that way.
Well, if they do that way, they're going to have to move up the date of those bowls, because
that's
the one thing, coaches have been complaining. It's like getting into that second semester, the timing of this calendar, we heard it the most with the coaching changes and the musical chairs for coaches. Well, we have that second component, again, getting into the portal, and, you trying to get guys out of the portal for your team and trying not to lose guys while you're also coaching for, playoff games, trying to win titles. So maybe pushing up that whole schedule into December a little bit more would be better.
No doubt. This whole calendar needs to. You talk about December. Yes, we have dead times like this weekend. We should be playing playoff games. But yeah, that whole calendar needs to be adjusted. And I'm going to do a segment on that later about what the FCS looks like and what their calendar looks like. But not only December, flip it to August. I mean, we need to get out of the second semester. This thing needs to end New Year's weekend. All right, that needs to be the national championship weekend and clear the deck for the second semester and transfer portal and everything else. Why isn't everybody playing August 23rd, 22nd, and 23rd? That week 0 that some teams play and everything else, that should be when the season starts. There's nothing from a school standpoint that holds the season back from starting that first week of August to where you could have the rivalry games the weekend before Thanksgiving and the conference championship games Thanksgiving weekend, and then roll into the playoffs and use 4 weeks in December and decide this whole thing, on January 1st or 2nd.
Tom, it makes too much sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, it just makes sense, right?
There have been a couple coaches suggest just that and stretch that season into August so that you can finish it up sooner. The problem is you've got TV involved, and right now TV's got a national championship game slotted on a Monday night that used to host NFL playoff or NFL games. If you can break that and compete with the NFL, then you can actually pull that off. But we'll wait and see because it's all about the money.
It is all about the money. It's all about Teresa Walker as well. T-Dub, I appreciate you. Good stuff by you, and we will chat again before the holiday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you. We're going to break in here. We will come back. Robert, stay put. We'll get you in here at some point. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Next Friday, Alabama opens up play in the college football playoff with a first-round matchup at Oklahoma. The Crimson Tide are the 1.5 favorite, 40.5 the total. That is down from 41.5. Alabama 25-1 to win the national title. Tuesday, the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery. Troy up to a 3.5-point favorite over Jacksonville State. The total bet down from 51.5 to 46.5. One college football game on the schedule Saturday. Navy laying 6 against Army at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Falcons tomorrow, 4.5-point dogs for the Buccaneers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256 503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another cold night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures dropping into the upper 20s and lower 30s. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday afternoon. We are going to be cooler compared to what we saw on Wednesday. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s, dropping into the mid 30s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Friday, back into the mid 50s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance, the sponsors of the Owen Home Appliance Friday Trifecta all fall long. Fall is here, and I know you hunters out there are looking for a new freezer to put this year's harvest in. Owen Home Appliance has you covered with the best in the business for chest freezers, even some with like real tree camo on them. Even if you're not a hunter, the deals you'll find at Owen Home Appliance are second to none. You need to check out the interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, or just go to owenhomeappliance.com to learn more. That's Owen Home Appliance Center. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Love that one. Love it. All right, let's get Sully in here, or Sully. Let's get Robert in here quickly. Robert, what's going on?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Fantastic.
Just heard y'all talking about the Titans and mentioned the Saints. And I'm from Louisiana. And live here in Alabama. And did you see that? Happened to see the game, Saints, and the last game?
I did not. I did not see it.
Okay. Well, this kid Tyler Shuck that we got from Louisville last year, he's really starting to impress me. I think we're on to something here.
You know what? Thanks for the call, Robert. I appreciate it. We're up against the break here. I think you're right, though. I like Tyler Shuck. I like them coming out. David Moulton is coming up next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. a hunting and recreational land specialist, and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or Christopher Equipment, powering your
Louisiana, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. The 2025 All-SEC teams announced yesterday. Alabama lands 2 on the first team and 2 on the second teams, along with 1 on the third. Bray Hubbard and Caden Proctor both land on the first team. Auburn linebacker Xavier Atkins earns first-team honors, while Keldrick Falk, Kieron Crawford, and Jeremiah Cobb land on the third team. Tuesday night SEC basketball, number 5 UConn holds off number 18 ranked Florida 77-73, and Kentucky gets by North Carolina Central 103-67. 97.7 ESPN The Zone invites you to join us Tuesday, December 16th from 5 p.m. to 7:30 for our Talent Heating and Air Listener Appreciation Holiday Toy Drive Party with help from North Alabama Mortgage at Field Day Huntsville. Just bring an unwrapped toy or two. We'll have free food, free miniature golf, and more. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
The segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, longtime friends of the show. To be honest with you, it's been about 20 years that we have been hooked up with TOC, and they just do such a great job. They service the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, most of the high schools in the region. They got 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley. So if you have an orthopedic problem, if you're considering professional care, really, TOC, it's the only logical choice. You need to contact TOC. Make your appointment. When you need them, they're there. Always in the Tennessee Valley, TOC.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us today. And for those of you that are watching on WCZN TV, I have no idea. To be honest with you, I just got no idea why it keeps locking up. And John, maybe you want to send me another invitation, and maybe I just need to use that and see what happens. So if you want to do that, we just pull the curtain back a little bit with that deal. But if you want to try and do that, maybe that will work. Just to finish up the conversation that we had with T-Dub in Nashville regarding the new stadium. The next 4 national championship games: Miami this year, Allegiant Stadium in Vegas in 2027, the Superdome in New Orleans 2028, and Raymond James Stadium in Tampa 2029. So the earliest that you would see a national championship game in Nashville in the new stadium will be 2030. I think 31, somewhere in there is when you're going to see it. Super Bowls are locked up through 28, and most people think that 29 will go to Vegas. I think you'll see a national championship game in Nashville before you see a Super Bowl. I think that'll almost be, the test vehicle, if you will. I think they'll get a natty, and then sometime around 32, somewhere in there, is where you get to Super Bowl. It'll be long after I retire, okay? Because I'm retiring from my daily talk show after the Super Bowl in 2028 in New Orleans. And by the way, this can't that national champion, or I should say the national championship game. That national championship game is going to be January 24th. So any thought of actually fixing the calendar for college football doesn't happen for years unless they're willing to abandon those dates. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the Super Bowl will be pushed, continues to be pushed back, and it'll be, I mean, the Daytona 500 is going to have to move at some point. They're going to have to move up the Daytona 500 or move it back because it's going to be on top of the Super Bowl pretty soon. That's how far they've backed up. All right, on Monday night, it was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I had the game recording, and my phone blew up, and I had people 6, 8, 10, 20 people sending me pictures of Sully, not a guy named Sullivan, but apparently some character from something called, I think, Monsters, Inc. And he was in the press box with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, and it was our friend David Moulton. And I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it now. And David joins us now here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. David, I was going to ask you to wear the Sully costume today on the show. Did you wear that on your show on Monday?
No, nor Tuesday. I have the costume. I'm at my mom's visiting for a few days. I have the costume about 10 feet away.
So that answers one of the questions. I was wondering whether or not you actually packed it and brought it to L.A. or
Yes.
whether, it's L.A. You can go to any costume shop anywhere in L.A. and get whatever you want. I didn't know if you rented that in L.A. or if that's the one that you have had, because haven't you worn that before on Halloween when it was a Monday night Halloween game?
Yeah, we did back-to-back years. We had, I think, the day before Halloween and then on Halloween. And so I wore costumes both times. And the second time I wore Sully. And so, yes. And so since they were doing this cross-promotion, Monster Fun Night, first I was dared, would you do it again? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm almost 60. And then, so Joe's two spotters dared me to do it. I asked Joe and Troy, I said, how about this? Can I just wear it to the production meeting? Because it'll be very early LA time. People will be half asleep. They'll walk in. They'll see this guy, who's the size of a manatee dressed as Sully. And they both thought that'll be excellent. And then they both said, well, if you're going to do it in a production meeting, you might as well do it on the air. So I didn't show up in the stadium in costume. I brought the costume with me. And right as they're literally at 8 o'clock saying, welcome to SoFi Stadium, I'm on the other side and I'm getting dressed as Sully. So for the first nearly 2 quarters, every time Aikman turned and looked at me, he's getting information from Sully.
Yeah. John,
and he did say,
put that back up on the screen. And this was priceless, was the reaction by Joe, who you have a relationship with also outside of Monday Night Football, because you spotted for him in golf back when Fox had golf. And then Troy it was hilarious. And Joe Buck saying, every time I look over at Troy, he saw you. So you must have been standing just off camera. And when you guys don't have a 2-shot, you're probably standing right next to Troy. I don't know how those guys could do the game with you standing there in that thing.
Well,
and you look ridiculous. I mean, it's fantastic how ridiculous you look.
It was late first quarter, early second quarter, and I was really trying to make a point with Troy. And so I'm talking in his ear. And finally, he just turns and he looks at me and he says, you're pretty tough to take seriously tonight. You know that, right?
And then he asks you,
got it.
as if you have a live mic, right? As if your headset was dialed in. He said, you have anything to say to America?
Meanwhile, the producers in their ear, because I get their IFB, so I'm getting, and they're both saying, we got to get to the kickoff. We got to get to the kickoff. Okay, so that's why I thought of 2 things instantly. One was, I got one eye, but that's not Sully.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a different character in Monsters Inc. And so I said, well, I can't do that because I'll get mocked for not knowing the characters. So I just did the classic when you were in the 70s and 80s and you scored a touchdown and the camera zoomed in on you. You just said, "Hi, Mom." And I knew my mom was watching. And so I could think, boy, she must be so proud. She worked those 3 jobs and paid for the braces and put you through college and the whole deal. And your son is on national television as Sully.
Yeah, in a costume that looks like 10 pounds of crap packed into a 5-pound bag, besides, which was good, which makes it fantastic. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You have this this pitiful look on your face.
Yeah, well,
I'm
what
just
I
laughing out loud.
I did not expect to be called over making the 2-shot into a 3-shot. I thought if I made the survey that it would be a wide shot. They would just take a booth shot and then, somebody would go, "We've got our own Sully, blah, blah, blah." So I didn't expect it to be a tight shot. I literally had to grab my stuff and bring it with me to get in the shot. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we are really doing this.
20 million people had to see that. I mean, it was 20 million people, right? I mean, that's about what they got
probably.
audience. I'd say there was 20 million people. It's all U.S.
Yeah, probably 15 and change. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if it was me, I would have had a sign around my neck that said, "Tune into the Tom Abraham Show."
No doubt about it.
So I'm
and
surprised it's say Miller and Moulton, 6 o'clock Eastern time every morning or something. You know what I mean? A little self-promotion, but it was pretty good.
And if Joe and Troy said, "Do you have anything to say?" Okay, my goodness, you would have talked all the way to the 2-minute warning, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no doubt. The talk show would have started right then and there. But it was that was great stuff. And just to make the night even weirder, for the first time in NFL history, and I was surprised they didn't go with it unless I missed it. I didn't hear it on the broadcast, and I was an hour behind, so I was kind of zipping through the commercials and then catching you guys right when you came back. For the first time in NFL history, a quarterback threw an interception and fumbled on the same play. I mean,
right.
that has never happened before. I didn't hear that in the broadcast. I don't know if you guys had it or not.
I thought we had it late in the game when we were talking about the number of turnovers that he had. But at the time, we didn't know it. Obviously, somebody had to look that up. But what a night. Yeah. I mean, Jalen, isn't he a fascinating athlete to cover and watch from afar because he's such a good dude. He's a winner. He's calm in the proverbial eye of the storm. He's led his college team to championships and on the precipice of championships. He's led his NFL team to a championship and on the precipice of championships. And in just about every big game he's played in, he's played well. I mean, the only one he didn't was the first half of the Natty when Tua had to rescue him. But in college and in pro, that national title game against Clemson that they lost, they didn't lose because of Jalen. I mean, I'd argue they lost because of Steve Sarkisian, but that's a whole other story. And
they lost. Wait a minute. I'm standing on the field when that happened. 141 when he scores that touchdown. That he doesn't play linebacker. He scores a touchdown to give them the lead, but 141, that's squarely on the defense. I know people don't say that because it implies Nick, but it was 141. Alabama has a lead in a national championship game. You got to win that game.
I understand, but the reason I blame Sarkisian is that Sarkisian kept running an up-tempo offense with the lead, and then they started having 3 and outs, and he helped wear his defense out. I believe, Tom, when Watson hit, who was that, Renfro? Okay, for the touchdown. I believe it was on the 99th play that Clemson ran. I think Clemson ended up running like 30 more plays than Alabama. I blame Sarkisian. Also, they had many second and third and shorts, and he threw the ball instead of running it and slowing the game down with the lead, using the clock. So I contend that Nick, by firing Lane, cost himself a natty. If Lane was the offensive coordinator that day, they win the natty. I have no doubts about it. They win by 2 scores. I thought Sark called a horrible game, but you're right. Jalen makes the play. They've got the lead. Defense, gave it up. But think about it. The 2 Super Bowls he's played in. He's played really well. Hell, he played probably the best game that a losing Super Bowl quarterback has ever played. in the game. And yet you watch him during the regular season sometimes and you go, are we really playing this guy? What is wrong with this guy? This guy's a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's remarkable. I just think you have to take the bad with the good, okay? But wow, when
Well, why
he's
are you
off,
saying that?
he's
Why are you
off.
saying that? Why are you saying that Nick fired Lane? Nick said it on Saturday before the SEC championship game. They made a mutual decision that Lane
Okay,
had other responsibilities and he
okay,
couldn't do both
okay.
jobs. And
Now, you guys, listen, Nick Saban's the greatest college
Yeah.
coach of all time, but you guys give him a pass on everything. Every single thing. Okay? The kick six game, okay, he passes up a 35-yard field goal to go up 10. Okay? I mean, seriously, nobody does that. Nobody would have passed that field goal up.
Yeah.
Okay? Nick did. I mean, he fired Lane. He fired Lane.
Well, he also
don't
did.
Okay, but no offense, with all due respect,
Yeah.
there's never been a mutual decision with Nick Saban, ever.
He
He was the reason the Dolphins didn't sign Drew Brees. You really think a medical person made the final call on Drew Brees with the Dolphins and not Nick Saban? You really think it was a mutual decision to let Lane go? Seriously? Before a natty? Come on. I mean, you guys, listen, he's the greatest college coach of all time. He does have a few warts. He does.
He's also the guy that pulled the trigger on Jalen Hurts in the national championship game against Georgia, down 13-0 at the half, and one of the greatest moves of all times, and comes to a Tagovailoa, and they win the natty. I was looking at everybody on my couch and turning to them all and saying, what do you think? I mean, does Kalen DeBoer have the stones to sit this kid down? Because he looks like he's shell-shocked. And I know that it's the run game that they can't get going, but just to shake it up, does he bring in Austin Mack or Keelan Russell and make a change? I was a little surprised that he didn't maybe try and do that. That benching Ty Simpson. Now, I know that they got another game to go, so it was probably different. It was not like the last game of everything, and you don't deal with it until spring ball. But I kind of thought maybe we'd see some sort of dramatic move because they were dead in the water at halftime.
Well, the other thing that was at play going back to Jalen and Tua, which could be at play, Tom, going forward, not for Alabama necessarily, but for a lot of teams. The inside word was Tua was transferring. All right, if Tua was transferring, he was tired of sitting and not playing. Okay, and so when he moved at halftime to Tua, okay, it also helped keep Tua in Alabama because Tua, if he doesn't play in that game, he's transferring. So he ends up keeping both by making the move. The other thing he also did was he kept some of those wide receivers. Those wide receivers were incredibly frustrated with the passing offense under Jalen, and they were going to leave with Tua. I mean, USC was probably going to have a haul in about a week if he doesn't make that move at halftime. So it's an even better move than how it turned out.
Yeah, true. I thought you were saying that Hurts was talking about transferring. He ends up staying for another year and obviously bails out Tua in the SEC championship game that we were both at. And that was a great moment as well. I will say, though, about Jalen Hurts, I love this kid. And I think it's stupid. Sirianni was asked a question today about whether or not he's thought about benching him. And, it's just, you people are out of your freaking minds, right? Because this kid, if anything, is a winner. And he'd only thrown 2 interceptions the whole season before that game. All right. So let's give him a chance to do what Jalen Hurts does. But I'll never forget being at the spring game when he was a freshman. And this was now Blake Barnett's team. They were handing the team to Blake Barnett. And we watched this kid in the spring game, and we're all like looking at each other in the press box saying, well, who's two? What's up with that kid? I mean, and then, of course, he replaces Blake Barnett 2 series into the USC game and never looks back. And he just was, and then he stays, and backs up Tua. I think he's great stock. His father's a football coach, always been great people, and I pull for him no matter what. I'm not an Eagles fan, but I always pull for this dude.
The other thing is he never throws anybody under the bus. He takes all the proverbial slings and arrows. He deals with the diva wide receivers because he's been dealing with them since college. And, I mean, we keep wanting perfection from all of our coaches and athletes. There is no such thing, okay? We need to accept they make mistakes. We need to accept that there are warts. He's not perfect. You wish he was a little more accurate on simple throws. You go, man, why is that throw high and outside? He should be able to make that throw. Yet at the same time, he makes plays that mere mortals don't make, and he's a winner, and he's a leader, and there is an awful lot to that position, an awful lot, and he checks most every damn box.
The one thing I don't think he's going to have, he won't, I don't know that he'll be quarterbacking when he's 34, 35, 36 because the legs are going, they're starting to go. And that part of his game was always a huge part of his game. And these quarterbacks, as they age, I think of a Cam Newton type and whatnot. As they age, that part of their game goes away. If he's stuck to being just a pocket quarterback, I think that could hurt him down the road, but I don't think it hurts him right
But
now.
I also think, I don't know if you want to spend this much time on this, but, the offense, they're not running any RPOs either. He's not the threat to keep the ball and carry it and gain those 5, 6, 8 yards. How the Chargers won the game was using the RPO and making Herbert a threat. They couldn't move the ball until they started running the quarterback. This coordinator with the Eagles is not using Hurts as a threat. Remember the one play that worked? The fake tush push, and Hurts begins to run, and the defense freezes for that split second, and then he pitches it to Saquon. They need to use the threat of Hurts as a runner more, I believe, to get back on track.
David Moulton with us here, a little bit under the weather, I'm sensing.
Yes.
Cold,
Yes, and let me tell you, flying to LA and then flying to Jersey, okay, really does a lot for a head cold. My ears have not popped since landing last night in Jersey.
So again,
Okay.
how many trips to the West Coast this year?
9.
9 trips across the country.
9.
Unbelievable. And you get to keep the mileage? Or
Yes. No, I get the miles.
Okay.
Yeah. When I started this season, I had no miles and no status on United Airlines. I'm now a premium gold customer with like 120,000 miles.
Do they book you, or do you have to book yourself and turn it in?
I look up the flights. I send it to them. They make the arrangements because they pay for them.
Does Troy ever fly domestic flights?
That's
Does he always-
hysterical. That's hysterical.
So there's Eric Aikman all day. They're on the private. Joe too. Does Joe and Troy both fly in? Now Troy doesn't have a jet, right? He's on that rental jet.
No. He owns it. He owns his plane.
Troy actually owns the Eric Aikman thing. Is actually a jet. I mean, he has his own.
It's his plane. He bought it. It's his. In fact, that's the second one. He upgraded.
Wow, I thought those guys because they got all those things where you rent the jet, type.
No, this isn't NetJets. No.
This is a net jet. Wow.
No.
Wow. Well, a lot of golfers do that. They rent the jet and they fly.
We were joking in the booth because the whole left side of the booth, Joe, his 2 spotters, his research assistant, what have you, they all had Joe didn't have a commercial flight booked, but the other guys did. And the game went very long. It went 20 minutes too long to get to overtime. Then we played nearly the full overtime. So they were all missing their flights. So during commercial breaks, they're rebooking flights, hoping to get out. And so I made a comment to Troy in which I said, take a look to the left. They're all scrambling to try to make sure they get their flights tonight. And he smiled, looked at me, and he said, I'm going to make my flight.
I don't understand why anybody would leave before Tuesday morning on these Monday night games.
Well, believe it or not, I mean, some of those guys have games to be at Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so they want to get out and they want to get back in the right time zone as quickly as possible.
I know that you were born and bred a Notre Dame fan. I also followed Notre Dame as a youth as well. But this stunt that they pulled is one of the worst things, not only in Notre Dame history, but for the sport itself. Such a disservice, such a bad look. And I wonder how much Marcus Freeman was involved in this decision, or is this strictly a Pete Bavacqua decision or what? But this is the most chicken bleep move. And they took away a game against BYU that would have been fascinating to see by the first 2 teams out. And I just think it's awful what they did.
Well, you and I see it very differently, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm Irish Catholic and grew up a Notre Dame fan. Because first off, I thought Notre Dame should have been out. Okay, I did not think that they should be in the playoff. First off, in terms of Alabama, and we talked about this. This is 2 years running now. If you're in the playoff and you're in the conference championship game, they are not going to kick you out of the playoff for losing the conference championship game. If they didn't do it to SMU, they sure as hell are not going to do it to Alabama, losing to a top 5 team in the country. So Alabama was in. I believe deservedly so. And then to me, it's really simple. It was Notre Dame, Miami, head to head, the whole deal, resume, and Miami gets the edge. And so by the ACC not knowing how to do a tiebreaker, okay, because it should have been Miami and Virginia in the title game, if ranking had any role, if they had done that, Notre Dame would have gotten an at-large. So Notre Dame's anger should have been with the ACC. As for the bowl games, you and I are on very different sides of this. To me, these bowl games are exhibitions, and the players are not getting paid for them. And now they're getting paid to do everything else. And my understanding was the Notre Dame players didn't want to play. After the disappointment news and what have you, and the players just kind of looked at Freeman like, we don't have any interest in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Okay, and some of them are going to transfer. Some of them are going to get ready for the NFL. Okay, they're like, and there have been some athletes recently who have gotten hurt in these non-playoff, high-profile bowl games. Jake Butt, the tight end from Michigan, ruined his football career getting hurt in the Orange Bowl. All right, he was going to be a second-round pick. He ended up a fifth-round pick. Knee never came back. He didn't have much of a career. Thom, I think the bowls are going away. And if not, I think half of them should go away. So you're talking to the wrong guy.
Maybe some would go away, but I will go back to the fact that 21 of the 30 non-playoff bowls last year, 21 of the 30 non-playoff bowls had an increase in their TV ratings. I look at it as it's just a 13th football game, and you say the players aren't getting paid. We don't really know the nature of the revenue sharing or the NIL deals. I mean, if I'm the guy that owns the car dealership that's paying the quarterback for the season, I'm looking at him and saying, what do you mean we're not playing on New Year's Day against BYU? I paid you for the season. That's part of the season. If we're going to start saying that only the playoff matters, and look, I'm on record as saying this all week long. I've already been saying it. These 4 games, and I get on campus and all that crap, these 4 games that we're going to have on the 19th and 20th, I wish they were in bowl games. I really do. And if we go to 8 first-round games, I wish they were bowl games. I wish they were in Jacksonville and in Nashville and in Orlando and in Tampa or whatever. I wish those were all bowl games. I wish we used the bowl system. But, man, to just say these games have never been meaningful. They never meant anything. The only thing that ever meant anything was the top 2 or 3 games. They've never meant anything. Why all of a sudden now we're just going to blow it off?
Well, first off, my understanding was the players didn't want to play, which I think then allowed Notre Dame's administration to do what they really wanted to do, which was to get back at ESPN, because they felt that it was arranged that they would miss the playoff and who owns the Pop-Tart Bowl, etc. And, Notre Dame left $3 million on the table by saying no to the Pop-Tart Bowl. So, it's a pretty big middle finger that Notre Dame is saying to ESPN. They're saying, okay, you effed us, we're going to F you.
And you may not be in future ones, then we'll see. Get in a conference and stop this madness. You should have been playing in the ACC championship game. Play 3 more ACC games, and then you're in the ACC. Now, I will say they have a legit.
Very quickly, I agree with that. My feeling has always been, if it's close, them not being in a conference needs to be held against them. I have no problem with them missing the playoff. I view the bowls differently as you. You love them. You're emotionally attached to them. You have relationships with certain bowls, and to me, I don't watch Capital One Bowl Week, which is a month. I really don't.
But there are games that look. Texas and Michigan. I'm looking forward to that game. I'll watch that. Yeah. There are 6 or 8 of them that I'll watch. We'll have one in Nashville between Tennessee and Illinois. There'll be 60,000 people at the game. It'll get a good rating. These bowl games all get higher ratings than NBA, certainly NHL, WNBA. Yes. So it's good TV. I think that's a part of it.
Preseason NFL outrates outrates the highest regular season baseball games of the year. Yes, but to me, it's preseason football. Only it's in December,
which is valuable to the coaching staffs. I mean, Auburn turned down a game, and I get it. He's making his new staff up and everything. I'm like, that's 15 practices. That's
but the kids were
save kids from leaving. But the kids on the show, the coaches and the administration should say, "Hey, we're part of this program. This is how you finish with class. We got an opportunity to do something." Plus, in the case of these new staffs, maybe you can keep a couple of players from transferring out after they see the culture you're building in the month of December. I don't know. That's old coaching me talking.
Yeah, and I think it's old way of college football being. Like, I think that's 15 years old.
No, it's probably 30 years old. But
okay. That's being kind.
I think Notre Dame does have a beef with the ACC as to how they handled the Miami Notre Dame deal. I think that somebody at the ACC wasn't thinking straight when they just went on this public dissing of Notre Dame, who is a partner with them and gives them a lot of notoriety, to be honest with you, for those 5 games they play in the ACC, and then the fact that they're a member in every other sport except for hockey, where they play in the Big Ten. But for them to put on the ACC, which is not at ESPN, for the ACC to put the Miami Notre Dame game on a loop Thursday and Friday, and then for them to put all that stuff out there on social media as to why Miami should go and Notre Dame shouldn't, somebody with a business brain should have been saying, "Hey, do we really want to hammer these people this way, or let them do it on their own?"
Once again, this is big business, and the ACC went on the offensive because it looked like they were going to be shut out of this playoff. And you got to remember, 2 years ago, they got what was considered the ultimate when the undefeated Florida State team got left out for Alabama. So the ACC is like, this is not going to happen to us twice in 3 years. And behind the scenes, they let that committee know you got 2 choices. You put Duke ahead of James Madison, which is what I thought the committee was going to cop out and do. Okay, or you got to put Miami ahead of Notre Dame. And when the did head-to-head not mean anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think an indictment for Notre Dame was the Big 12 commissioner yesterday when he said, I actually agree with the teams the committee put in the playoff. Because if you did the blind resume test, BYU probably should have gotten in over at least 2 of the teams in the playoff if we're doing the blind resume test.
Yeah, and we've been trying to find out if there's actually is any kind of legal standing that would keep them from switching this up. Because really the Yanks should be fired at the James Madison and Tulane thing. I mean, yeah, those games are so bad. Those games are so bad that the college football playoff put them up opposite the Packers and the Bears and said, screw it. We're going to put those games in the middle of the night when the NFL is playing, and we're going to put them on TNT, and we don't even care. I was stunned. I got a Christmas party I got to go to on the 19th with the deacons of my church, and I was stunned that Alabama and Oklahoma, I thought that would be the feature game of the 4, that Alabama and Oklahoma was the Friday night game, and then I realized, oh, sure, they're going to put Texas A&M and Miami on at noon, and then they're going to say, goodbye, everybody, go watch the NFL.
Correct.
To the Wolves. Nobody's going to watch, the James Madison in Oregon, except for during a commercial break at a Bears-Packer game.
Yep. And I am very surprised that the committee put in 2 group of 5, group of 6s, whatever we're calling them now. At the end, they would just say Duke's win over Virginia is better than anything James Madison has. If James Madison played in the ACC, we don't think they would have qualified for the title game. Therefore, we think Duke is better than James Madison. But when they decided they were going with JMU, which they may have decided the week before, then they ultimately were like, we got to get the ACC represented in this, or we're going to have real issues.
Well, do you think then that I was stunned that Alabama didn't slide to 10. I mean, they just look like crap, and I get all of that. But if they slide Alabama to 10, then it's Notre Dame at 9 and Miami at 11, and to me, it's like, so did they really not move Alabama? Did they really only consider Miami and Notre Dame once they were next to each other? That's the most asinine thing I could ever think of. And then if Alabama was between Miami and Notre Dame, they wouldn't have considered Miami and Notre Dame together? I mean, it's bullshit.
once again, see, you're paying attention to what this committee actually does leading up to the final vote and what they say, which by now we realize it's total crap. It's a TV show. They're doing it so ESPN can sell advertising. That's it. Everything they say and do leading up to the final vote is meaningless. But yes, okay, since they were saying that Miami, when they were 2 or 3 spots away from Notre Dame, was not in the same league level as Notre Dame, they couldn't then keep them 9 and 11. They had to get it so that a team moved out of the way. Now, if BYU had won, the committee would have said, well, we're putting BYU in, and both Notre Dame and Miami are out.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
I agree with you, though. Okay, to me, I always thought Miami should have been ahead of Notre Dame, just like I always thought Alabama should have been ahead of Notre Dame. And then I think, Tom, if that was the case, they would have moved Miami to 9 and Bama to 10 based on their performance. The other thing is, I think we would have gotten, Bama and Oklahoma have already played each other, whereas Bama and A&M had not. So I think they would have set up. Meanwhile, Miami against Oklahoma, they had some games in the past. I think they would have done that if they had handled this better, but this is a very incompetent group. I mean, Congress looks at the College Football Playoff Committee and goes, those guys they're bad.
Yeah, and you end up in a scenario where Alabama is actually a slight favorite in Norman. They did dominate Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa, except for they kept giving the ball away. So now Alabama's a slight favorite. Alabama's not favored at Texas A&M. They are not favored at Texas A&M. They are favored against Oklahoma. They'd be a 3 or 4 point dog if they were in that game against A&M. Plus, this lower bracket, to me, and I know you're a Big Ten guy now, but to me, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are tougher than 1 and 4. I also said this on Monday. I'm going to go out and just say it. The winner of the Alabama-Oklahoma game, I think, is going to the Natty. That's what I think is going to happen. That lower bracket to have to run into Georgia and Ohio State. I mean, that lower part of the bracket, I think Texas Tech and Indiana are now in the deep end of the pool, and it's a little different animal for teams that have never been here before and done this before.
Yeah, I think you're very wrong and naive about Indiana. This is not last year's Indiana. I thought they proved that throughout the year, winning some tough road games, close games late. They did it again against Ohio State. I mean, nobody was talking about anybody else beating Ohio State. I don't think you're giving Indiana enough credit. That's a very good team. Very
I think they
good
shot their
team.
wad there. I thought that was.
I don't at all. I don't at all. I've seen them 4 times this year. I don't at all.
You see the line
Here's to me
for Indiana.
The also seeding they got wrong, and I know you got to go. Like to me, Ole Miss should not be 6 and A&M 7. Okay, when you lose Lane Kiffin, you can't tell me they're the same Ole Miss team. And the 6 seed has a much better first round draw than the 7 seed. I mean, A&M gets Miami. Ole Miss gets Tulane, and by the way, a rematch of what we've already seen. I thought the committee got that wrong. I was also surprised, by the way, Georgia wasn't 2, and they didn't drop Ohio State to 3. I thought they would make the 2 best conference champions, SEC, Big Ten, 1 and 2, with the team that, would it matter? I actually think Ohio State is a tougher draw than Georgia. Georgia gets the winner of Ole Miss Tulane. Georgia's in the semis. I mean, that thing's done. Okay, done.
Yeah.
They're in the semis. Ohio State's going to have a game. Either A&M or Miami, that'll be a game. Georgia's not going to get a game.
David Moulton's been our guest, and so much more to talk about next week. We will have a show next week, David, to talk about this as it will be playoff week. And we can talk about, at that point, some of the look-ahead lines I think are fascinating for that, depending on who wins those games next week. And if, Oklahoma or Alabama is playing against Indiana in the Rose Bowl, what that line would look like. And I think that's kind of interesting stuff too. But we are out of time, no doubt. We're like NPR over here. We're not taking any commercial breaks, and I got bills to pay. So appreciate you as always. Great stuff. Hope you feel better. Merry Christmas to Mom. Why are you in New Jersey now at this? I don't even know where you are Monday. Where are you guys Monday?
Where are we? We're in Pittsburgh. But I'm here now because Army Navy's in Baltimore, and I just figured I'd fly from LA to Jersey now, and I could just drive 3 hours to the game. And by the way, I feel much better than I sound. I apologize for how I sound, but a head cold's a head cold.
Army Navy, the only thing I'm watching on Saturday. I mean, that's good stuff. Army Navy, I love it. All right, man. Appreciate you as always.
All right, be good, everybody.
There you go, David Moulton. 38 minutes. Everybody's at the radio station pulling their hair out. They're like, are you out of your friggin' mind? Let's get a break. We'll do a quick segment, come back, and get caught up on the spots. Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Next Friday, Alabama opens up play in the college football playoff with the first-round matchup at Oklahoma. The Crimson Tide are the 1.5 favorite, 40.5 the total. That is down from 41.5. Alabama 25-1 to win the national title. Tuesday, the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery. Troy up to a 3.5-point favorite over Jacksonville State. The total bet down from 51.5 to 46.5. One college football game on the schedule Saturday. Navy laying 6 against Army at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Falcons tomorrow, 4.5-point dogs for the Buccaneers. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Humpday of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Humpday models, Greenway Humpday of Decatur is here to service all of your Humpday needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Humpday of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement?
I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment. I've known Ross for a while now, and I know one thing. I have seen Valley Equipment grow from a relatively small operator to a huge operator that takes care of everybody in the Valley with 2 locations now, not only on the South Parkway, but also on the North Parkway. You got to see that facility that they've got up there. So whether you're a homeowner looking for small equipment or whether you're a contractor looking for a big-time lift or big-time equipment, they've got it all at Valley Equipment Rental.
Happy birthday! Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul. With a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the
Good one. Not bad. AC says we've had 18 good shows in a row. It says 18 in a row, you have the best show. I appreciate that, AC. Yeah. That was a long segment with David, but I mean, I think there was a lot of information in there. It's always a good discussion with him. I think what I need to do is go back to splitting it with David. You know what I mean? I think Grasshopper, wouldn't that make sense? Maybe I do a segment with David, take a break, do another segment with
I
him.
thought you were going to break some records in that segment, honestly.
It was crazy. That was reminiscent of the Bob Costas segment that I did early in my career, second year on the radio. I got Bob Costas on, and we go 45 minutes straight. And he says to me, that's why I made the NPR comment. Costas says to me 45 minutes into the interview, he says, Thom, it occurs to me. Now, this is 25 years ago, 23, 24 years ago. This is younger Bob Costas. And Costas says to me, he says, Thom, it occurs to me that this is not NPR radio. And if you'd like to take a break and then come back and finish the hour with me, I'll be glad to sit on hold. Oh, thank you, Bob. Took a 7-minute, 8-minute break. It was nuts. All right, we're going to take a break right now. Get our clock straightened out. And then when we come back, I just a little history lesson from the big dog when we return on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
College football lives here.
Daniels quick out left side, trying to make a man miss. They do. But it's a fumble, and Alabama's got it.
Mateer to throw, looking right. Has time, deep across
yeah.
the middle, wide open behind the defense. Atania all alone. Touchdown! 58 yards. Sooner magic on a Saturday night.
College football lives here.
Fernando takes the snap, hands it to Kalon Black, pounds his way forward, touchdown Indiana.
Snap back to Gunner. He'll throw it. Caught by Branch. He twists. He pivoted in and scrambles into the end zone for the 4-yard.
The fake to Lacey down the field. He's got a receiver. Caught at the 35, the 40. Breaking free to the 45, to the 40 is Alexander. He could go. He does. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Remember, don't try this at home, kids. I am a professional.
Tuesday, December 16th. We want you to help us celebrate the holidays by helping the Marines Toys for Tots Foundation. All you have to do is bring an unwrapped toy to Field Day, located off of University Drive on Tuesday, December 16th.
Welcome to the party, pal.
We'll have food and live broadcasts of the Thom Abraham Show, plus the drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton.
1 year membership in the Jelly of the Month Club.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That it is, Edward.
It's the perfect way to celebrate the holidays by helping the Marines Toys for Tots Foundation, presented by Talent Heating and Air. The party starts at 5 p.m.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, Talent Heating and Air, and Toys for Tots. We'll see you on the 16th.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. That's right. They take care of the routine checkups. They keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. But if you have a bigger problem, they got these expert service technicians that can diagnose it, use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. I take my vehicles there. I've been doing it, for nearly 20 years now. It's Woody Anderson Ford and the service department. Second to none. Check out Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woo! Somebody done been to the Walmart. Man, that's just the stuff I got for Christmas. Well, you cleaned up. What'd you get?
5 flannel shirts.
4 Big Mud tires, 3 shotgun shells, 2 hunting dogs, and some parts to a Mustang GT.
That's classic.
You fool, you got Chip
I need some of those
12
parts.
days to Christmas.
It's all-timer.
I got it covered. Look over in the corner. That's yours, too? Yeah, 12 pack of Bud, 11 wrestling tickets, 10 of Copenhagen, 9 years probation, 8 table dancers, 7 packs of Red Man, 6 cans of Spam.
Warms the cockles of your heart, John, doesn't it? I mean, that's just an absolute classic. I mean,
something like
right?
that. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a song similar to it. It might have adjusted throughout the years. I'm not sure.
Yeah, may have adjusted a little bit throughout the years, but we'll see. That's just that was mine. That was mine. That was not Grasshopper putting that one in. That was me. And every day we're going to feature one from me. Okay, one of my favorite ones.
You gotta guess which one it is.
Yes, and you can try and figure that one out. All right, the NFL has announced that they will play games in Germany in 2026 and in 2028. Okay, so Roger Goodell trying to get the league to 18 regular season games, including an international game every week. And I hate every one of them. I hate every one of them. But at least the games in Mexico or Rio are in a normal time slot for us. Now, that game coming up next year in Melbourne, Australia is going to be kind of tricky. It'll be tricky. Let's say that the game kicks off at 10:15 in the morning in Melbourne. 10:15 in the morning there would be 7:15 the previous night here in the Central Time Zone. All right? So let's say they play at 10:15 Friday morning. They're going to have a game like that's what it's going to be like. 10:15 Friday morning in Melbourne, Australia, or 10:15 Monday morning in Melbourne, Australia, and the game will be 7:15 on a Thursday or Sunday night back here. But my biggest issue is the games in Europe. They should be night games over there so that they're noon games here. They should play them at night there. But the NFL wants that fourth window on a Sunday. So they play the game at 2:30 in Europe so that they're at 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central time here. And that's no bueno for me and the millions of Americans who still want to go to church on a Sunday morning. Let me give you a little history lesson.
History began on July 4th, 1776. Everything before that was a mistake.
It's time for a history lesson with the big dog, Thom Abraham.
So the reason the NFL plays their regular season games at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock Eastern time, noon and 3 on Sundays, was absolutely to accommodate the churchgoers and to fit into the American lifestyle back in the day, which gave the entire country a game to fit between church and supper time. That was the plan. Coast to coast. All right? If you went to church and you lived in California, no, those people don't go to church much anymore. But if you lived in California and you went to church, you'd come back, you'd have the 4 o'clock East, 1 o'clock Pacific game. If you went to church on the East Coast, you'd have the 1 o'clock game. And you could watch the 1 o'clock game and the 4 o'clock game and have dinner at 6:30 or so. It was because of church. That's why the NFL played on Sunday afternoon. And that was the plan, and it was that way for 50 years. The first night games were actually on Saturday nights, not Sunday or Monday, because America needed to get up and go to work the next day. So they played on Saturday nights. They gave that a shot in the 50s. They gave up the Saturdays because of college football. College football used to be much more popular than the pro game. The pro game was an afterthought. The NFL and the pro game, that was like senior league. College football was the thing. It was 1970 when the Monday Night Football idea was floated, and the consensus was at the beginning it was going to be a huge flop. The game started at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, an hour after an hour of primetime TV. And it was Browns owner Art Modell's baby, so he offered his team to play in the first game in the first year of the full merger with the AFL as long as they could get Joe Namath and the New York Jets in the game, who were just a year and a half past winning the Super Bowl III. And since then, it took off. Sunday nights began in 1987. Thursday nights began in 2012. And now we got football all the time. There you go. There's your history lesson. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone